Hey everybody, good morning. This is Dwayne Marino and welcome to today's Autoversity. As always, if you like these tips, please hit share, subscribe, like, or comment. And today is going to be a quick tip about money. You know, we all work, for a living, or at some point, maybe you want to stop working for a living, but money is an important thing. If you make money to pay your bills or to help your family or to pay back to your church or whatever else, one thing I know about money is poor people really can't help anybody, let alone themselves. So it's not immoral to make a good living and to, then utilize that money in whatever way you want to benefit yourself or somebody else. And what I want to point to today is really about something called modeling, which, I've been doing now for, a couple of decades. And all modeling is you find somebody that's getting the result that you want and you simply do what they do. It's pretty straightforward. Now, in selling, vehicles to lots of people and selling lots of things to lots of people over the years, one of the questions I was always asking my rich friends and, very well-off customers, and listen, sometimes you're selling vehicles or whatever else to people that obviously have a lot of money, and you know this. When I felt the time was right, when I had a lot of rapport, and I never made it kind of weird or uncomfortable, I'd put everything aside and I'd say something like, listen, you've obviously done very well for yourself. I admire that. I don't come from money. Okay, I saw, most of my family not do well with that. My two, uncles that were self-employed and in sales did phenomenally well in their careers and both retired flat broke. So my question to you is, because I don't come from money, is first off, what did your parents do? Now, if they tell me their parents were well off, if I find that out, you have to recognize that only 1 out of 10 people keep or expand the money that's given to them from their parents. So my question to those people always is, hey, you know what? And I tell them that stat in a conversation. I say, that's kind of interesting. You're obviously still doing well. Tell me, what's your secrets? What have you done to continue doing well, to continue on expanding, or at least not face any kind of financial contraction with the parents, with your parents' money or the business that your parents gave you. So that's how that direction goes. The other side of the conversation, though, is much more interesting to me because I don't come from, money. I wasn't given any. I've been self-funded all the way through since the beginning of any business I've started, including my first one when I was 19 years of age, and I was doing a lawn maintenance business. It's always been my own cash or loans or whatever else. And any partners I've had, quite frankly, have been trying to take money from me or take my skill set or take my customers. So I've had a lot more uphill struggles than even level ground in that area. So if somebody, and ask them, hey, what did your parents do for a living? These well-off customers that I'm selling, and they go, my parents are broke, or my parents live with me, or I support my family. Then my next question is always, great, how did you do it? And this how do you do it question is an underlying question in everything that I see in my life. I see somebody very fit, very healthy, youthful, vibrant. I see a great salesperson, a great F&I manager, a great sales manager, a great dealer, a great parent, or somebody well off. My life underwriting question has always been, how do you do it? I don't have any jealousy. I want to figure out what they've done so I can maybe take some of that for myself, including multiple conversations I've had with Joe Girard, the Guinness Book of World Records salesperson, friend of mine. Joe, how did you do it? And the information I get from these conversations is incredible. So when I ask these rich people, these rich customers, how did you do it? How did you make your money? I can tell you one thing I have never heard, and I've asked this now to hundreds of friends and customers. One thing I've never heard is mutual funds, GICs, or any other banking product. I've never heard that. Never. So this tells me something about what actually works. Now, I would hate to say this, but your investment broker may be broker than you. Now, a lot of the tips that I'm going through right now are in my book called Unstoppable Money. And I wrote that book as, a blueprint to put on paper of how I manage my money and what I've learned from people that do a lot better than me or have done very, very well in their life. And in this little book called Unstoppable Money, I go through the fact that banking products are not going to make you rich. As a matter of fact, they might actually make you broke when you look at, inflation, the tax ramifications, how that money is locked up, and the fact that you aren't guaranteed or often given any kind of a decent return on your investment should the market crash or even just continue in its normal direction. So when I ask them, how did you do it? How'd you make your money? They never tell me banking products. What do I hear from these customers? What do I hear from these friends? Basically 3 things. One is sales of some type. See, with sales, you are turning your time into money. And when you learn how to build up that repeat referral client base and get better with your skill set, your trade-off on time and money goes into the money favor big time. So I hear sales a lot. I also hear self-employment. I owned a business or I own a business. And the other big one that I'm getting really the feedback on the vast majority of all my well-off friends is property. property of any type. Could be land, could be income properties, it could be multi-unit residential, it could be owning a farm, but it's property. And you read and you follow the stats of people that have done well over time, that is the general moneymaker. So one word on cash as well. Cash depreciates as it sits there because of inflation. And if we end up into what they're talking about perhaps being a hyperinflationary situation in the next 5 to 10 years, your $1 sitting in your mattress might be worth 20 cents or 50 cents. But property is always valued relative to the market. So when you go to trade that in or you go to sell it, it's always relevant to current market conditions. And diversify your portfolio as far as where you own property and what types of property you own. And I will tell you from experience, your first property is the tough one. After that, the sky is practically the limit because of your knowledge and skills get better, and also through something called leveraging. And again, it's not a commercial for my book, but in my book Unstoppable Money, I go through the formula that I use on how to buy property without any money. Because a lot of people say, I don't have the capital to buy property. Folks, you don't need capital. You need information, you need knowledge, and my formula and blueprint for how to do that is also in that little book. So I wish you really great selling. I'm sorry this tip gets a little bit long here. Some of them I just can't shorten down. I'm on my way to another seminar today. It's a little bit rainy here in the GTA. I got my raincoat on, and I'm hoping to create a great day, and I hope you do too. I'm Dwayne Marino. Great selling, and we'll see you soon.